This video is not intended for children.
Hello everyone. Our topic this week was requested by all of these lovely people. We'll be going over the Keyblades for the Kingdom Hearts series. Spoilers for the Kingdom Hearts series. Lada.
Okay, so Keyblades are weird and also vaguely nebulous. There are some aspects of what they are and how they work that frankly have just never been explained or even touched on. But we're gonna go over everything we could find on them. So, Keyblades are mystical weapons from the Kingdom Hearts universe. As the name implies, they are sword, mace-shaped melee weapons that are vaguely reminiscent of skeleton keys in design, though some of them stretch that design parameter to the limit. Oddly, despite the fact that most of them do not display any sort of cutting edge, they have been shown to be able to cut and slice in addition to the obvious bashing damage that weapons of such design should be able to perform. But that's far from the strangest or most unique power of a Keyblade. Long ago, as in millennia or more before most of the games took place, the first Keyblades were forged, made as pale copies of the original Keyblade. The Keyblade acted as the key to Kingdom Hearts, an entity and/or location of great power from whence all hearts were supposedly born. The Keyblade has made limited appearances in the series, so the full scope of its power is unclear. It's the only key to Kingdom Hearts, but presumably beyond that, it either grants the wielder all of the normal abilities related to Keyblades on a much grander scale, or unlocks new capabilities, which is pretty impressive once you realize the kind of mystical powerhouse the average Keyblade is.
So, Keyblades aren't forged in the traditional sense. You don't take a hammer and anvil and pound one out. Instead, they seem to be formed from the very hearts of people or worlds in the Kingdom Hearts verse. We say seem to be because, as we mentioned, things are vague. The exactitudes of where and how they come from are incredibly slushy and even mildly contradictory. For example, way back when, the only person we know of who could create Keyblades, the Master of Masters, is said to have sort of pulled them from the hearts of his students in order to create them. But then later during the main games, the Keyblade the protagonist Sora initially acquired is said to have been intended for Riku, his best friend, with some blurred lines as to whether or not Sora unintentionally pulled that Keyblade from Riku's heart or whether the Keyblade arrived from an outside source. What we're more certain about is who can wield them, how they can be wielded, and we have at least some idea of what effects the Keyblades can produce. Keyblades are, in every way, a manifestation of a Keyblade wielder's heart and being. Evidently, the soul and the heart are different things, but the distinction is so minimal as to be effectively non-existent for purposes of this video. Which means that whatever a Keyblade's origin, as the wielder's strength grows, so too does that of the Keyblade they wield in battle. Though argument could be made that it is instead more like the wielder grows into an understanding of the full potential of a Keyblade.
Either way, Keyblades are incredibly useful, powerful, and rare tools. Rare mostly because there are criteria for being able to use them. According to developers, there are several criteria a person has to meet in order to be able to become a Keyblade wielder, but the primary one that has been revealed is that the prospective warrior must be incredibly strong of heart. They must possess a powerful will. Interestingly, though the majority of legitimate Keyblade wielders seen throughout the series have been good aligned, the Keyblades themselves are a neutral power. They can be wielded by good or evil in equal measure so long as the person in question possesses a heart of significant strength. If someone doesn't have the metaphysical strength to wield a Keyblade, they are physically incapable of doing so. A Keyblade can be summoned by its wielder at will, conjuring the weapon in hand with but a thought, and vanishing into ether just as easily. If someone too weak to wield such a weapon gets hold of a Keyblade, it simply vanishes just as if it had been dismissed by its master. Whether this is because the weak person in question doesn't possess the metaphysical fortitude to hold a Keyblade, or because a Keyblade has some fraction of will that will not be contained by someone too weak, is unknown. However, this fact leads to the second criteria for wielding a Keyblade that has been revealed to the fanbase. Technically speaking, a person has to have the ability to summon a Keyblade given to them.
We say technically because this is one of those instances where the line between qualifying as having received the power and not qualifying are paper thin. As Keyblade wielders gain power and experience, and usually with training, they can eventually reach the status of Master. An officially recognized Keyblade Master has presumably been taught all of the skills and techniques known to the Keyblade Master who trained them, and has been judged worthy of character by that Master in question to inherit the title of Keyblade Master. Only such Keyblade Masters can grant others the ability to wield a Keyblade. through a deceptively simple process known as a bequeathing. It's worth noting, however, that the power necessary to be a Keyblade Master, and possibly the experience required as well, are what is required in order to bequeath the ability to wield a Keyblade to another. The title is just a title. The bequeathing process is simple. A Master-level Keyblade wielder hands a prospective Keyblade wielder their own Keyblade. If that Keyblade remains grasped in the prospective wielder's hands, they have the strength of heart required to wield one, and will now be able to call upon the powers of Keyblade in the future. If they do not have the strength required, the Keyblade simply vanishes as normal. The simplicity of this process is perhaps why its requirement is such a technicality. 3 of the primary characters have had their bequeathing expressly shown or explained. Only one of them went through this process properly. Riku, as a young child, was met by one of the series' Keyblade Master-level characters, Terra, and was bequeathed the power to wield a Keyblade in a proper ritual complete with ceremonial words. In contrast, Kairi was bequeathed the ability by another Keyblade Master, Aqua, when she was a child as well, but in Kairi's case, it happened when she touched Aqua's Keyblade as she cowered behind Aqua for protection. No official ceremony or even intent on Aqua's part was required. The lines this can be stretched to are perhaps best exemplified, though, by the series' primary protagonist, Sora, who never held a Keyblade in his hands before becoming a Keyblade wielder, but instead sheltered the heart of a Keyblade Master within his own heart, which accomplished the same task. In fact, this 2 strong hearts in one body phenomenon even allowed Sora to generate and wield 2 Keyblades simultaneously. The Keyblade his own heart granted him, and the one belonging to the other heart inside of him. While any Keyblade wielder can use 2 Keyblades at once, Sora and his ilk are the only known wielders who can generate multiple Keyblades on their own. Everyone else has to get a second one from somewhere else. All of this infers that the bequeathing process is little more than the spark that starts the flame. The true power is decidedly within the Keyblade wielder in question.
And what power they have! Keyblades are conduits for channeling powerful magic. While numerous other creatures throughout the series are shown wielding magic without Keyblades, those who possess Keyblades are either inherently gifted with magic as a side effect of being worthy to wield the weapon, or have any natural magical affinity boosted significantly. As all Keyblade wielders are powerful magic users, blasting various elemental magics around like candy, with more advanced Keyblade masters using even more varied and potent magics. Every experienced Keyblade wielder is also shown to be wildly, inhumanly acrobatic and durable. Whether this is meant to be power inherent to such Keyblade wielders or is simply depicted because video game is not entirely clear. Will and belief play a strong role in a Keyblade's power as well, with those who lose the will to go on sometimes losing the ability to summon their blades, while other wielders can send their weapons to other worlds entirely to aid their close allies without even being present.
As a Keyblade wielder's experience and power grows, the relationship between Keyblade and its master's heart and soul become more apparent, as more experienced wielders can morph and shift the Keyblade to assume many forms. This is most notable in the most recent Kingdom Hearts 3, where most variations of the player's Keyblade can transform through multiple weapon stages, granting the player new and fantastic combat abilities. While other characters are shown transforming their Keyblade into everything from the basic sword to a flying glider or even a powerful cannon, to say nothing of a Keyblade's ability to change form and capability with the aid of keychains. Throughout the series, the player acquires a host of mystical keychains that can be attached to your Keyblade. Each chain changes the blade into a new shape and grants the weapon distinct capabilities, powers which can be augmented via the aforementioned transformation abilities in the hands of skilled Keyblade wielders. What makes these keychains special is not entirely clear. Again, in some games, the player acquires actual physical keychains from other characters. Alternatively, keychains can sometimes be found in specific locations or crafted using rare materials. But just as often, a new keychain is simply received upon completing the story of a given world. So where they come from and exactly what makes them special is up for debate, though intent, meaning, and emotion likely play a large role, at least in regards to those keychains directly acquired from others.
Ultimately, however, the most powerful ability of any Keyblade is also its most basic power. As the name implies, a Keyblade is a key. The key, you might say. Keyblades are essentially master keys to the universe, with the only known lock in existence they can't open being the lock to the true Kingdom Hearts that can only be opened with the Keyblade. But not just physical locks, metaphysical ones as well. A Keyblade can be used to thwart nearly any barrier, partition, or blockade in existence. Normal lock on a door or chest? Opened. Magical portal? Open or shut. These things can even seal the doors to the hearts at the center of a world, or rip out, transfer, and even return the hearts of people to or from their bodies. It's this power that makes them so effective against the primary enemies of the game, the Heartless. Manifestations of the darkness within people's hearts that themselves consume hearts. A Heartless destroyed through the use of a Keyblade frees the heart that made it, as well as those it has consumed. The worlds that exist in the Kingdom Hearts verse are protected by normally impassable barriers. A Keyblade can create or seal gates into or between worlds, allowing or barring passage at their discretion. Powerful Keyblade wielders have even been shown to be able to conjure multiple gates at a time for the use in short or long distance travel. At least one Keyblade wielder was able to alter the reality of a world, locking its true shape and scope behind a magical transformation that could only be unlocked by a Keyblade. And those are just the things we know you can do with Keyblades. Based on the amount of mystery the developers have kept around arguably the most recognizable artifact of the game series, it would be completely unsurprising to discover there are depths of power available to Keyblade masters we have yet to see.
And that's basically Keyblades. Magic weapons born from the heart that give you magic, power, and a master key to all of reality. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave us a like and maybe share it with someone you know might like it. If you have ideas for more videos you'd like to see in the future, do like all of these lovely people, and let us know in the comments down below. If you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, be they lore, let's play, or other, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
In the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons, signing off. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe orb.
To see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, click the link on the left.
Thank you to all of our patrons for making these videos possible.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.